Hello. Okay, this is the introduction to A Course in Miracles. And the thing about this introduction, and maybe you could say the whole course, the entire course itself, is that if you get any part of it, if you really fully understand what it's saying, you get the whole thing, because it's holographic, or each section represents the whole. So if you could just understand this introduction, the introduction is the whole thing, and everything else is like footnotes to the introduction. The problem is that we wouldn't generally understand the introduction at first until we've gone through the course a bit. And the thing about it also is that our understanding keeps deepening as you could say the layers of the onion get peeled away. Then we understand things at a deeper and deeper level. And we may think that we've gotten there. We've gotten to the goal, but then there's another layer gets peeled away, and we see there's more. Okay, so here's the introduction. This is A Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. The course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. This course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So that's the introduction, and now we can just go through maybe line by line, because this is a very short introduction. So this is A Course in Miracles. Not miracles as we usually understand the word miracle, like healing the sick, or raising the dead, or walking on water, all the things that are attributed to Jesus, for instance. But the miracle actually is even better, and could potentially make those things possible, but really the miracle is what takes you home, and that's really what we really want. We actually, the outward miracles are maybe nice perks if they happen, if they're if they present themselves, but they're not the goal. Anyway, this is A Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Now, it doesn't mean that A Course in Miracles itself is required. It means that where this is taking us, which is back to Source or back to God, is something that we all will do, because that is who we are, and we cannot not do that. Only the time you take it is voluntary. You can take your time. The reason why we would take our time is because we are scared, because waking up to the extent that we're identified with the ego, waking up is a scary proposition. And even though we might intellectually think it's a nice idea, and really we'd like to wake up, but when push comes to shove, we are very scared, actually, of that. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. there's some plays on words here, of a course and like an academic course, a curriculum. Really what it's saying is that the return to God is inevitable. We can't get away from that. But we can choose how much we want to take. We can perhaps speed the process if we want, or we can tarry and linger. But it doesn't matter anyway in the end, because time is an illusion. The Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. So, like it said in the preface, the Course is really aiming to remove the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. And as we remove those blocks, what will happen is that we will return to love, or return to God. The Course words cannot do that, though. That is, you could say, through the practice, we will fulfill the conditions that are necessary for that to happen. So the Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. So the awareness of love's presence is our natural inheritance. It's a beautiful poetic way of saying that we are love, and that we are not what we think we are, actually, and we our reality is beyond the world of the senses, beyond what we see, beyond the world of bodies and perception, and because we are so identified with this world, it's going to take some work to remove the conditionings, let's say, and to get back to our natural original state. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. So in this world, love and fear are opposites, but God, you could say, has no opposite. God is a state of oneness that is and was and always will be, and has never changed. Fear has never been a part of God. Fear is only a part of the world of illusion. So God is what is all-encompassing and has no opposite. And that is where we're going. And the way to, you could say, return to God and return to that state is to not buy into, let's say, fear, not see fear as a part of our reality, and through remembering that our true reality is beyond anything in this world, and is beyond all fear and guilt and all the things that are characteristic of this world, we return back to our true nature. This course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So nothing real can be threatened. Anything, in other words, anything that is threatening to us would be because we are identified with the ego. And as we start to look at those things, in light of what the Course is saying, we begin to see where we feel threatened inside of ourselves, and to just look at that and understand that that is the ego. And as we just see that and just look at it but overlook it as well, it will just dissolve. As it dissolves, then we will return. We will find our way back. So nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. That would mean that the ego, which we from our vantage point, you could say on this side of the veil, we think the ego is very real, and we think this world is very real. We think it's all very serious business. But what this is saying is, no, it's really nothing. The ego is nothing. Does not even exist. It's an illusion. It's a very profound illusion, but it is ultimately nothing, and the ultimate realization would be that for all the tempest in the teacup, or the tempest that we see, it's really a tempest in a teacup, which is the ego. Herein lies the peace of God. So as we remember that, as we remember that the ego is not real, then we wake up and we remember the peace of God. And as we do this process, even though we might not completely have that experience or wake up, we will have more and more peace. But it's also been said, and I think it's important to remember too, that the process is not easy. And there's that great saying that the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. And so it actually may get worse before it gets better. But trusting in the process is essential. As you trust that this is truly a process that has an end, there's light at the end of the tunnel, then you will stay true to the path and finally arrive there at some point down the line. So that is a little bit about the introduction to A Course in Miracles. And next time we will be reading Chapter 1, The Meaning of Miracles, the 50 Miracle Principles. Thank you for listening. Peace.